I'm not going to sing and dance about saving the United States of America. Don't get it twisted. But that's what happened. That riot, July 13th, 1863, in New York City, killed over 100 of our people, strung them up on lampposts. White folks are making it plain that we are not going to war to end slaves for no, you know what. So the will was the will of our people to determine to be free, standing on the shoulders of their ancestors like Nat Turner, that made slavery go away in the only way that you could make slavery go away here in these United States. And we need to appreciate it and insist on it being taught like that. And there's not enough writing about that like that in that way. And those writings that we're talking about are very much underappreciated. From a cultural vantage point, I want y'all to appreciate this too, because something's about to drop in October. In 1915, it was a vicious film out put out by Hollywood called Birth of a Nation.
Yes, sir. First movie.
It was a film that laid the foundation for the nationalization of the image of our people as Sambos, as Mammies, as Coons, as Bucks, and as Niggas. Straight up. And it was considered the best film of its time and one of the greatest films of all time.
First film in the world.
Anyone going into filmmaking school has to study the cinematographical power of Birth of a Nation. Even though it's making your and my ancestors look like trash.
Yes, sir.
It was an attack not just on our identity, but the aftermath of the Civil War was known as Reconstruction. And you got to read Du Bois's Black Reconstruction to appreciate why that was so important. This country had an opportunity to straighten out the question of race after the Civil War, but crackers was too deep in being crackers to allow that to happen. Pardon me for talking like that, but that's keeping it real. Too deeply entrenched, too intransigent with that ugly, vicious racism. Just can't be. We just can't have no kind of equality with them. And they violently overthrew that after an election took place in 1876 and a deal was made. You got an election right now. You got a deal maker that's running as a Republican, right? An election took place in 1876 and a deal was made because it was a tie. It's all right, we'll give you the White House, get them troops out of the South so we can deal with our niggas the way we need to deal with our niggas. That was the deal. That was the deal. And history went backwards when it could have gone forward. And it took us almost 100 years to dig from out of that. And don't think that history can't go backwards again, because it can. So for these babies out here, we got to train them up. We got to recognize this particular historical moment. Hillary Clinton can go to hell as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not going to let Donald Trump pack the Supreme Court and send us back another 50 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We can't allow that to happen. This is on our watch. We can't allow things to get worse for these babies. They're bad enough as it is. And with over 2 million of our people already incarcerated in this thing called mass incarceration, we got to bring this forward. That's something we're trying to get rid of. We don't want that to expand on our watch, in our faces, and with our children's lives. No, we got to deal with this. And I'm bringing that in that way because I'm bringing it back in the end to the legacy of the Black Panther Party, because the Black Panther Party created Black August. So we deal with these kind of issues. We bring this forward to create support for our freedom fighters who are still in prison. We got some serious situations with our freedom fighters who are very ill, and to support an emerging, what was then an emerging prison justice movement, but that is re-emerging now. Now we had, remember September 9th, Attica, and we've got this little thing coming up with that decarcerate New Jersey was talking about. The background of that is that they're supposed to be staging one of the largest work shutdowns in American prisons on that day. That's going to be a tight day on the inside. We got to watch that and be ready to support our families and our loved ones on the inside because it's going to be a military response to that kind of shutdown.
Prison slavery.
That's right.
It's going to be a response. So,
Going on up in there.
now wine here, this is in honor of our ancestors. This is additional weapons on this, where I was going with Birth of a Nation. October, there's a new film, right, where brother's name is Parker. You will remember him from, what was the name of the flick on the debates? Huh? The Great Debates. You remember him from the Great Debates. He was the little player out of the three debaters, right? He's directing and starring in this film. He took Birth of a Nation and turned it on its head and made it a film about the Nat Turner Rebellion. And they're beginning to attack him for some mistakes he made with his personal life when he was young to try and deflect from the power of what this film may be. Now, I haven't seen it yet, but the fact that he's trying to do that and force this discussion about race is something that needs to be piqued. We need to be studied on this because we're going to be the ones to move the discussion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're going to be the ones to move the discussion. So we need y'all to look forward to that. In the aftermath of years ago, there was a novel in the 60s. William Styron did a novel on the Confessions of Nat Turner that basically reduced Nat Turner to being a wild, crazy man who really wanted to get at white women in the process of a rebellion. Really tried to trivialize that rebellion. The great Dr. John Henry Clark, who gave us a powerful book before he went to the land of the ancestors, Christopher Columbus and the African slave trade.
Yes, sir.
Your remarks. At that time, also did a book called Confessions of Nat Turner, 12 Black Angry Writers Respond to address and attack and debunk the big white lie that white man told him. He was considered a liberal and a lefty, William Styron was. He was considered a good white guy. Right? Yeah, but they got that baggage too. We need to straighten it up and check it wherever we find it without apology.
Got that right.
So, in the spirit of these ancestors, I want y'all to remember that. And it's not enough to just live in the past and be proud. Yes, we got to relate that to what we're dealing with right now. And we got some stuff in front of us on our plate, on our watch right now. That's on us. Right? And the ancestors want us to get it right. Because when we get up out of here, guess who we go see after we get that pass, and we lucky to get that pass from your God? You go see them ancestors. And they gonna question you if you better come up with the right. I don't want to see Harriet and Nat on the wrong side of the question. I'm keeping it real. I'm not laughing. I'm cold serious. I'm cold serious. I want to be on the right side of the question when I face them. I want to be able to work against evil in the spirit world with them. I don't want to be kicked aside. No, you go down there, boy. You ain't ready for this. No. We honor these ancestors in every way that we possibly can. And we need to honor in our living, not just in their living. Y'all all right?
That's right.
You scared of no rain. I told you ain't nothing but the whirlwind. Thank you, Brother Zaid.
And Larry, in closing, just so the Brother Saeed talked about the movie. I just want Nat, what is Birth of a Nation about? Just so
It's about the Nat Turner Rebellion. Right. He flipped it.
You say are we going through all that race? It's raining.
No, it's through Turner's eyes rather than.
It's about the Nat Turner Rebellion. Birth of a Nation, the original Birth of a Nation that was produced in 1915 was produced by D.W. Griffith. And the original name of Birth of a Nation was The Klansman.
Yes, sir.
It was
Yes,
a
sir.
movie about the Ku Klux Klan. That was the original name, The Klansman. And the film was so provocative that when in major cities, when it was shown, after white people would see it, they would go and try to burn down black communities or lynch black people. This is true. Even in Philadelphia.
1921.
They showed Birth of a Nation in Philadelphia, and afterwards there was a white riot in Philadelphia. Right, right. And that's one of the things, like, if those of you who are members of the NAACP, look at when your local chapters were founded, because many of these local chapters were founded in the struggle against lynching. Lynching was the major issue of the day.
Yes, it was.
And a lot of the appeal of the NAACP is that it was fighting lynching. And so some of the oldest chapters of the NAACP are right here in New Jersey. In fact, one of them, I forgot which one, was founded the same year the national organization was founded, which I believe was 1909. That's the original founder of the national organization. Well, there are chapters of the NAACP in New Jersey that old. There was a lynching in Hackensack, New Jersey. Many people don't know about that. But if you, in Hackensack, there was a lynching, and Professor Larry Green of Seton Hall University, Larry Green, has written an article on the lynching that took place in Hackensack, New Jersey. I believe it was like in the 1920s. There was a lynching in Hackensack. But this was a very reactionary state. Great sympathy in New Jersey for the South. New York, there was an effort to try to get New York City to secede from the Union, just because they wanted to join the Confederacy. Newark, that's right. New Jersey was a big textile state, and you need what to make textiles? Cotton. You need cotton. The cotton would come up here to Patterson and other places. They made it into cloth, and they sent it back down south to be sold. So there was a political economic relationship. And much of that cloth, there was a special cloth for slave clothes. Did you know that? There's a special cloth, a coarse, very coarse material, sackcloth, that from which slave clothes were made. And it was made here in New Jersey. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that the national headquarters of the Ku Klux Klan was in Princeton, New Jersey. A lot of people don't know that Woodrow Wilson,
The
who was
Visible
the
Empire.
president of Princeton University, was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, who premiered Birth of a Nation at the White House. And when the Klan would march in Washington, D.C., Wilson would come and review the regiments of the Ku Klux Klan. The what did they call them? The covens. Is that what they call them? I think the covens of the Klan. The covens, or whatever they call them, the groups of the Ku Klux Klan. So, huh? Well, they were called the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, but they had, like chapters. The chapters. Right. Go ahead.
I've learned so much today. I'm really grateful. As far as a couple of things that were said, as far as the slavery goes and the burial grounds, if you get over to New York City, just take the PATH train right into the World Trade Center. 2 blocks away, they have the burial center there for blacks who were buried down by Wall Street. And what happened was they built a federal building there. They found some bones. And then we all got together and we were marching on them. And so what they did was they have a place, they have about 30 graves. Then you can, that's outside. Then you can go inside and you'll see the black people. And when you go in there, they look like they're real. And then they show a film. And after it's an 11-minute film, and after you see the film, you will cry. That's on one thing. The Birth of a Nation, I saw it about a month ago, 2 months ago at the museum here in Newark. And that's where the Klan originated from. The way they filmed it was the blacks were in the Union Army. The Union had won the war, and the blacks were in the army. So the blacks had all the power, and they showed the blacks raping white women and robbing and just being bullies. And so these whites got together and started rioting against them, and that's how the Klan, they say, started. The film that's coming out by Nate Parker, he talks about Nat Turner and the rebellion. And as Zaid said, they're coming down on him for something that was done years ago with him and someone else concerning a rape. I won't go into that. Fox News, Fox, bought the rights to Nate's Birth of a Nation for $17 million. Some blacks had offered him a person, I forget who was his name. If I call his name, he's an ex-comic. Y'all will know him. He made a larger bid, but Nate sold it to Fox. Fox has the worldwide distribution to the movie, and the reason why Nate did it, I understand, is because they also had the worldwide distribution for 12, what is it, slaves? 12 Days a Slave. And they made a lot of money with that, so that's why they say he said that he sold it to them. So Fox, our good old Fox. And this, let me just say this. I want to say this. I made a point about today. We're here today honoring something that happened hundreds or some odd years ago, but we're here today. And everybody has to be responsible for when they lived in life, and we're living right now. So much is going on in our communities, black on black crime, police brutality, no education, none education, however you want to say it. We have so much to get involved in. I would just beg all of you, please, don't let this moment pass us by. You know, I'm so proud to be in this organization because when I go on my block, when my stone is going to say that here goes Ronnie, as Martin King said, and he swept his street well, meaning that he got involved. I'm older than mostly all of y'all here. You know, come on, Frida, mind your business. You did that before, putting my business in the street. That's not, you know, if I put it in, that's one thing, but that ain't for you to do. Moving right along. My grandmother who raised me, her mother and father was born into slavery. And so the woman who raised me come right out of slavery, and she says that when her mother was 11 years old, the slave master saw her in the field at 10 o'clock in the morning and asked her, "Who's that? That's your daughter?" I said, "Yeah, well, she sure got big, sent up to the house." So my son, who just got killed in the streets not too long ago, he had blue eyes. My father had straight white hair, and my grandmother used to take, anybody know that soap called oxygen soap? The brown soap? You know, that stuff had glass in it, I thought, because it cuts your neck when they scrubbing on your neck. And she say, the lighter you are, the better off you're going to be in this world, because that's how we were taught back then. So I'm not angry with my grandmother, but I'm saying that to say this. We have a responsibility, each individual, to stand up, to come out to things like this, to join with Larry and those and Ingrid, and we have to come out and help one another. September's coming, school is starting back, big fight in school. We have to be there for our children, because if we don't represent, who's going to represent? So we got so much to do. I'm sorry to keep you in the rain. I'm going to shut my mouth, but I just want to say there's so much to do. You can find something that you believe in, do it. It don't have to be with pop. Find something that you want to fight for, because you're here, you're living. Why be here, taking up space, but do nothing? So I would just implore everyone that can hear my voice right now, find something that you want to get involved in. Get involved in it. And if you need any kind of help whatsoever, you can come to me, and I promise you I will give you all the help I can. Thank you. And on that note, power to the people.
All power to the people.